Have you been feeling off? Well, it might actually be your hormones. So, from fatigue to mood swings and to weight gain, hormonal imbalances can wreak havoc on your life. So, we're going to talk about how to detect them and then bring your body back into balance. We're going to talk about the top 5 hormone imbalances in women. And by the way, my name is Dr. Lori Marvis. I'm a board certified family and lifestyle medicine physician with a couple of decades under my belt of taking care of patients. So also, if you're new to the community, please click the link below and join our YouTube, subscribe, or if you like, you can even join our newsletter. There's also a link down below in the description. So let's get started. If you've been feeling tired, moody, or just not yourself lately, you might chalk it up to stress or a busy lifestyle. But what if the culprit was something a little bit deeper, right? Something invisible, but incredibly powerful. Hormonal imbalances affect millions of women worldwide, often leaving them frustrated and unsure of what's wrong. I have been diagnosed with Hashimoto's since the age of 25 when I gave birth to my second of my 3 children. And it was a really quite an interesting story, especially even when I went plant-based and some stuff. So I'll have to share a thyroid story with you sometime. But first of all, let's talk about you. So whether you're struggling with irregular periods or unexplained weight gain, or maybe just overwhelming fatigue, that was one of my first symptoms, your hormones can be way out of sync, right? So, but there's good news, right? So once you understand kind of the general high-level signs and symptoms, you can definitely take actionable steps to restore balance and feel like yourself again. Number 1 is estrogen balance. Really, this is the queen bee gone rogue type thing. So estrogen is often called the queen of female hormones because it regulates everything from your menstrual cycle to your bone density. But too much or too little estrogen can really throw your body into chaos. So the high estrogen symptoms include heavy periods, bloating, mood swings, weight gain, especially around the hips and thighs, breast tenderness. Those are really the hallmarks of high estrogen, also known as estrogen dominance. Then there's low estrogen symptoms, right? Vaginal dryness, night sweats, hot sweats, irregular periods, low libido, joint pains, mood dips really indicate that craziness, fluctuation of perimenopause, menopause, when you have this huge drop in estrogen. And then, well, how do you fix it? Well, first of all, high levels of estrogen can be managed with a diet rich in what we call cruciferous vegetables, think broccoli. And there's a few other supplements, but for now, let's focus on these lifestyle interventions or prescribed medications. But for low estrogen, menopausal hormone therapy could be indicated, and most women actually could benefit from this. But you can also incorporate phytoestrogens from things like soy foods or ground flaxseed, things like that, to actually help rebalance your levels. Number 2 is progesterone deficiency, right? This kind of the silent saboteur of sleep and serenity. I have another video on progesterone and helping with sleep. But progesterone may not get as much as attention of estrogen, but it really does play a vital role in keeping you calm, balanced, and really well rested. Low progesterone is often the silent culprit behind the mood swings, the anxiety, and the sleepless nights. When I started menopausal hormone therapy, which is estradiol and progesterone, because I do have a uterus still, I didn't realize how actually my sleep had been affected by perimenopause. I'll be 54 later this month, and I was shocked. And now I sleep like a log. It's fantastic. I was like, where were you my whole life? I slept better before, but this was quite remarkable. But anyway, so what are the symptoms? Basically, you get anxiety, irregular periods, difficulty sleeping, mood swings, and even some infertility issues. Again, causes include chronic stress, perimenopause, thyroid issues can also deplete progesterone levels. And again, that chronic stress piece, I really want to emphasize that actually has the physiologic effects of increasing cortisol because it kind of steals away from the production of progesterone. So increases cortisol, there you go. Then you just feel horrible. Anyway, but it can cause a roller coaster of emotions and physical symptoms. So how do you fix this? I would say starting with stress management is absolutely key, including mindfulness, meditation, and regular exercise, right? Can really boost your natural production of progesterone. You can also consider magnesium supplements. And again, you can do bioidentical progesterone creams or oral if you'd like. Again, that's something to speak to your physician about, but just something to be thinking about. 3 is testosterone imbalance, right? This is not just a man's problem. So when you think of testosterone, you might be thinking about athletes or bodybuilders, but this is hormone at a much slower scale, is also critical for women, but it's involved in maintaining muscle mass, libido, and even mental clarity. So when you have too much testosterone, you might see acne, facial hair growth, hair thinning on the scalp, irregular periods, infertility. Think about things like PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. But not everybody with PCOS will have high testosterone. I'm just saying that's one of the more common indicators that you might be looking into if you find that you have higher testosterone or those symptoms. Low testosterone is low libido, difficulty in maintaining muscle mass, depression, extreme fatigue. This can worsen as you get aging. And the typical guidelines right now are if you were diagnosed with hyposexual disorder, that would be an indication for a very small amount of testosterone. Women typically only need 1/10 the amount that men require. And at that point, you definitely will need to be speaking to a physician. But how do you fix this? If you have high testosterone, you really want to focus in on the insulin resistance piece. I have an entire insulin resistance course on the drmarvis.com website. But again, exercise, building that muscle mass is so important, and really focusing in on the anti-inflammatory diet. For low testosterone, you really want to focus in on strength training, protein-rich diet. Again, hormone replacement might be indicated in some women, but certainly not all. 4 is thyroid hormone imbalance. Again, it's your body's kind of thermostat and metabolism gone haywire, right? My first symptoms were extreme fatigue. Granted, I just had a baby, but this was beyond what I had experienced with the first one. Think about your body's thyroid is your thermostat, right? It kind of regulates energy levels, metabolism, and even your mood. When it's out of balance, everything feels off. You can't even think straight. Hyperthyroidism, that's rapid weight loss, heart palpitations, anxiety, heat intolerance, or an overactive thyroid. Hypothyroid is weight gain, fatigue, depression, cold intolerance, kind of like brain fog. And that would be what we describe often due to Hashimoto's, but it can be due to other things as well. How do you fix it? Well, for hyperthyroidism, treatment options really typically include medications or surgery and some other things. That's more rare, but hypothyroidism is actually much more common. Typically, it can be managed with daily thyroid replacement therapy like levothyroxine, which is what I take. And you would also want to make sure if, let's say that someone has switched over to a new diet that did not include iodine-rich foods, you might check a 24-hour urine iodine, because low iodine may actually cause hypothyroidism. So just, again, something to think about. Selenium is also very helpful. Selenium-rich foods like 1 Brazil nut a week would be more than enough. Number 5 is cortisol imbalance, right? Stress hormone that never sleeps. Cortisol in your body's is your body's primary stress hormone, right? So it's released in response to perceived threats. Even in small doses, it's helpful, right? But cortisol, when it's consistently high or too low, again, wreaks havoc on your health. So high cortisol symptoms include weight gain, especially around the abdomen, high blood pressure, anxiety, insomnia, low cortisol, fatigue, weight loss, low blood pressure, and salt cravings. And that is more likely Addison's disease, again, which is a very severe disorder. You would be pretty sick. But how do you fix it? Honestly, this gets back to managing stress and things like meditation, mindfulness, yoga, adequate sleep, really paying attention to your mindset, and that positive versus pessimistic mindset is so critical. And just understanding, but mindfulness and meditation are game changers when you start incorporating those, even small amounts every single day. I know it sounds crazy, but that woo stuff works, man. But anyway, again, if any of these hormone imbalances sound familiar, it's time to listen to our bodies, right? Identifying and correcting your hormone balance can dramatically improve your quality of life, whether it's through lifestyle changes, which you should be your first thing you should be doing, sometimes supplements, or medical interventions. But again, you really want to speak to someone who can be very helpful. And by the way, keep an eye out for soon, later this week, we're going to be launching my Master Menopause and Feel Fabulous course. Oh my gosh, it's almost a 200-page ebook course and 1 full year of meeting with me in a group twice a month. And you also get all sorts of wonderful bonuses: cholesterol lowering protocol, my osteoporosis ebook. You get grocery lists. You get a meal plan. Again, all launching this coming later this week. So keep an eye out for it. So if you haven't subscribed or signed up for the newsletter, you will be the first place that you'll hear about it. And I would definitely encourage you to do that now. So thanks everyone for watching. As always, I'm sending you joy, gratitude, love, and healing, because we all need more of that in our lives and this world. So take care.